Jazz on strike, maybe from the other end, the kind of forest end of the ground, and get his experience into the game. If he can get into a rhythm, I think he bowled just once in the tri-series, and it was only one over, an expensive one. It's a roll of the dice, but I think it's a necessary roll of the dice from the UAE.
And that's why I felt that he should have bowled earlier in the tournament as well. Even when they were in comfortable positions, they should have tried, kept that sixth bowler interested, well-oiled, ready and on standby. Wasim has done well with the troops. He's given that full quota of 4 overs to his 5 bowlers and has used that strategy all throughout. But today, I think he's going to miss Basil Hamid if he doesn't get an opportunity.
He'll be almost forced to turn to him, would be the way I would describe it, Joe, because Ayaan Khan's first over was so expensive. Now, I've no doubt he can come back well, but they want to bring him on outside the power play when he has a bit of protection, the teenager. I know many a UAE fan will be maybe just thinking of one man right now, too. Rohan Mustafa, his almost iconic disposition against Nepal in particular, his love-hate relationship with the fans. He's not in the squad. Wasn't an option for the UAE as a consequence, but what they would give for his experience now in a wicket like this. Nicely driven by Ja. His batting has come on leaps and bounds in the last 12 months. And this game hangs right in the balance. Nepal, 39 for 1 after 6.
Well, 6 overs of power play done, 39 for 1. Let's look at that first innings.
Sweeping it away for a single.
Yeah, I like this strategy, and I think this has come right from the coach, Monty Desai. He's emphasized a lot on that sweep shot, and that is what is an effective weapon when the ball is turning. You bring out the sweep, you disturb the line and the length of the bowler. Big heave towards the onside, no chance for the fielder. One bounce over the ropes. Nilanj Keswani is there, but Gulshan Jah finally has moved on in terms of the acceleration.
Too flat again. It's just sat up to be hit, and Ayaan Khan is blaming the fielder. I think he needs to look at his pace and the length. Look at the length, far too short. Gulshan Jah just keeps continuing to come back to haunt Emirati fans. Another big strike. The fielder was brought
squarer, and actually long on has come more towards that position too. Every run being cheered, every run being greeted with roars around the ground.
Well, the previous delivery was a half tracker, the other one, the last one was a full delivery. So Ayaan Khan has not been able to get his line right and the length as well. Much better to the right-hander. Seems to be more comfortable bowling to the right-hander, and obviously because he's bowled a lot to the right-handers. A left-armer bowling to a left-handed batter is always a challenge, but a very good over for Nepal this one. 8 runs off it and still one more ball to go.
Again, I don't think that's the right length. He's got away with it. 7 have been bowled. Nepal maybe nudging ahead. 47 for 1. to look at the run worm, it's looking incredibly similar right now, with the exception of one thing, that 2 wickets that the UAE lost in and over in a Sampal Kami over in the power play. Just 1 run ahead, Nepal are. The UAE were 46 for 2, but then it really started to slow down in these middle overs, particularly with spin. Any vantage point will do here. Doesn't matter if you're sitting on top of a water tower, the edge of a balcony, clinging on to a cast iron pipe. The passion for the game here in Nepal, it is second to none anywhere in the world. And even though we don't quite have the same capacity, ability here, if that makes any sense, as we do across at the TU, where we saw 25,000 or so on March 16th, and over 2 days, the May Day games, it's still a brilliant atmosphere as Ali Nazir comes in to bowl his second help round the corner. That's going to be 50 up for Nepal, and there's an ever-growing confidence that they are getting on top in this chase. The spinners haven't been as effective, and the seamers are leaking runs too.
Well, not the best of starts from Ali Nasir in this over. It was down the leg, it was short, and Asif, well, all he had to do was get some bat onto it. He manages to play it fine. No chance for the fine leg fielder as well. So good start to the over, as Nepal are slowly but surely getting to their target of 135. What UAE need is a miracle. They need a cluster of wickets to get back into the game.
Yeah, they need those runs on the board that they have to start applying some pressure. They also need to grab moments like that. Little quarter, fifth chances. I think he might have just about got home, but this is straight to the man and straight to one of the best fielders, Ayan Khan. The throw has to be better. Might have just got home. UAE's fielding, it's letting them down right now.
Well, that shouldn't have been a single. Well, the fans, they've got their posters out, Road to T20 Cricket World Cup.
The Nepal headbands too, you gotta love them. Where have they come from? Credit to those two men, best dressed in the crowd.
Absolutely. Passionate fans, and that's what you want, that's what you play for.
This is hit down towards a vacant area. It's going to be 4 more. Gulshan Jah, well, he's doing it again. And now the double teapots, the hands are on hips everywhere. Nepal going through the gears. Surely they're on top now.
Absolutely. Back-to-back boundaries, and that has deflated UAE's bowling. The shoulders are drooping. The body language is not all that great. What they need is a special effort, and they'll need to believe in themselves. That is what is needed right now for UAE. The self-belief seems to be vanishing with those boundaries.
Playing a miss this time. I have to give a shout out to just one fan I met walking up the avenue this morning. That was, it's kind of hard to describe the atmosphere, mate. It felt like, you know, coming of age for a nation, and everyone wants to be a part of it here in Nepal. One fan flew in from Australia yesterday. He's of Nepali origin. He arrived yesterday evening. He has to be back in work on Monday in Sydney. I didn't catch his name. That's the dedication you're talking about. He had to be here.
Well, some things are priceless, and as you mentioned, that just gave me the goosebumps. I know what it means. I can understand what it means for this nation. The love that they share for this sport is second to none. People have come churned out in numbers, and you can see.
Sorry, Shope, that's a road there. It doesn't look like a road.
It
That's
was
a
a
road.
road there. But right now it's jam-packed, and this is easily more than 30,000. Initially, the numbers were out, not more than 3,000 people were allowed, but this is more than 35.
Yeah, it's certainly much more than the advertised capacity. We won't maybe get into the exact head count, but it's a sparkling atmosphere now. 8 have been bowled, another good over, 10 from it, 57 for 1. Show how good are these scenes? The popularity of the sport. We love this sport. You and I, we spend our lives hopefully getting across how brilliant it is to people. But how powerful are these scenes? Not for Nepali cricket, not just for associate cricket, but for the world game.
Well, I think absolutely brilliant, these scenes. Anybody who's watching this sport, anybody who's been in love with this sport or has played this sport, these scenes tell you what it means for these people. And just recently I read somewhere that cricket now is the second most followed sport in the world. And it hasn't come easy, and this is the reason why it is the second most loved sport in the world.
Yeah, and the most exciting thing for me is in this next right cycle, we have an increase in every single world event, men's, women's, both formats, T20 and ODI. And the next World Cup, the one we're playing out for right now, the one that Nepal could get to for the first time in a decade, or the one that the UAE could qualify for back-to-back T20 World Cups, will be the largest cricket World Cup of any kind. 20 teams will come together next year in the USA and the Caribbean. And that can only be good for the game. And I'll tell you one more thing, whichever one of these two sides will qualify, they are going to go to that World Cup, and they're going to turn heads with how well they will perform.
Well, most certainly one of these sides is going to be part of history. As you rightly mentioned, 20 teams are going to take part in the World Cup next year. That's the most number of teams ever in a World Cup, in a Cricket World Cup. And just to add to that point, cricket is now part of the Olympics as well in 2028. So it's a globally recognized sport, and it's just upwards and onwards. And I think the credit has to go to the ICC and the way they've arranged these pathway events. Absolutely wonderful.
Pull shot into the sky. Where's this one gone? Well, it's gone straight to the gap. There's no one at deep mid-wicket. Asif Sheikh, he's often the underrated one at the top as Bertel and Mala smash it everywhere and get the headlines. But he's got a brilliant technique, and he's showing that off now.
Well, pace on offer from Zahoor, a half track on this wicket. It's easy pickings. Pulled and pulled well. One bounce over the ropes as Nepal now have a grip on this game. 62 for 1. It's just the 9th over, and clearly the fast bowlers have no assistance on this wicket. Where are the spinners?
Again, they're going to pace on deliveries. Pace on deliveries going the distance. That's such good batting. He's played an aggressive pull shot to get a boundary, and he's just checked it down for a single. I really hope you're enjoying this coverage and what's such a historic and momentous day for the associate game again here in Kathmandu. Nepal at the moment, they're in control of this chase, but there's a lot of cricket to be played. You're watching us live on ICC TV here in Nepal. You're probably watching us on either Kantapur TV HD or maybe on the Kantapur Cineplex YouTube channel. Right now, there's over 200,000 concurrent viewers on that Kantapur YouTube channel. Groundsmen deserve a special shout out. They've done a brilliant job. And many more too watching on in India, enjoying these scenes on fan code. Incredible attention on this game. And right now, Nepal are rising to the challenge, and UAE are shrinking under the pressure. Is there a way back into the contest for the men from the Emirates?
Well, it's getting difficult with every passing over, and the wides are not helping UAE's cause as well. Zahoor Khan has been expensive in the context of the game. What they need is a wicket. What they need is a special effort from somewhere. Maybe a run out, a splendid catch, something that can lift the spirits back up for UAE. But as of now, Nepal are dominating this game, 64 for 1 in 8.3 overs, and they're well and truly set in this run chase.
It's going to be runs again. Just a single, but every run is being cheered, and understandably so. A reminder that if you are watching, maybe you've just woken up back in Europe, or you're burning the midnight oil in the United States. I know so many of the Nepali diaspora are. There is still a lot of cricket to be played here. This pitch is turned square. The combination of the 8 overs of spin that Nepal bowled took 6 for 31. And really, if they can get over the line, Nepal, that will be the difference between the two sides.
Well, if you joined us recently, just a quick update. It was UAE who won the toss, decided to bat first and managed to get to 135 runs. And Nepal are truly enjoying this run chase so far. It's gotten easy to bat on. The early moisture is all gone. The wicket looks good. And especially with pace on, the batting has looked easy.
Do also want to clarify something. Occasionally things can get lost in translation here in Nepal that the rumour mill can work around. We had questions yesterday if Nepal beat Oman, did they qualify for the World Cup? No was the answer to that. Now had a couple of questions on social media saying, is it just the champions of the tournament that qualify for the World Cup? No, it's a straight shootout today. The winners, they book their tickets on the jet plane. Yes, they play a final in 2 days' time, but that's really a celebration of the two qualifiers.
You're right, it's just a customary final. The teams that win today go into the World Cup. 9 overs gone, 66 for 1.
I can give you a big piece of news from across at the TU ground. It's nearly all but done. Oman are within touching distance. They can almost taste the return to World Cup action, having missed out last year in 2022. Kashyap Prajapati and Pratakathavale are making the chase of 107 look awfully easy. They're 84 for none. And Oman, credit to them, they've been excellent this tournament. They're going to take the first of the 2 qualification spots.
And deservingly so. They've been unbeaten in the tournament. They've clicked well as a unit. They've ticked all the boxes that were needed and are well and truly on their way to be the first team to qualify. I see that name on the screen. It's Basil Hamid who's going to be bowling. And I can't express my excitement to see Basil Hamid with the ball.
Well, can he turn the game on its head? He's going to need to. The UAE are desperately in need of wickets. It was just the one over that he bowled. He went for 14 from it in the tri-series at this venue. That was in a defeat to Hong Kong in the final game of the group stages. But again, just the small little 1%er things. Surely he should have been coming on when he's bowling the first ball to Gulshan Jah to turn it away from the left-hander, get a slip into place. The UAE don't win this game if they don't get wickets. Now the slip comes into place. But as you said, it doesn't have a feel of a little bit too late.
Well, cricket is a funny game, so I don't want to say that it's a bit late. However, I would have wanted to see him bowl a little early. That is for sure. With the ball turning away, this is going to be interesting. And he does have that ability to turn the ball, unlike Ayan, who's not a big turner, or Nilanj, who bowls seam up.
Bowls him straight through, and it's the flatter, quicker one from Hamid. Jah was tempted. The previous delivery was a beautifully flighted off break, and he takes a bow to silence the crowd. It's just the index finger behind that, straight through, and the stumps, they are castled.
Well, Basil Hamid, flatter, quicker, straighter. Gulshan Jah going for the big hit, completely misses, and Basil Hamid, he strikes in his very first over. And sometimes it's great to be proven right. Gulshan Jah, well, he's walking back. 22 of 24 for him. The second wicket down for Nepal. It's 67 for 2.
Road pedal to the crease. He's known as the man for a rescue act. It's not quite a rescue act that his side needs, but they just need a stabilising, steadying force here in the middle overs. It was so much flatter through the air, and love that celebration from Basil Hamid. Didn't get it done with the bat today, but still trying to impact the game, this time with the ball.
Just signalling straight first to the crowd, and then that tip of the hat and a bow towards his dugout. You needed me, and I'm here, says Basil Hamid. However, the job is not yet done. They need another wicket or two to get back into the game.
Lovely bowling, slow through the air. Powell sends Sheikh back, and I think rightly so. I don't think you could have watched that first 20 overs and not recognise that slowly flighted spin bowling, whether it be finger or wrist, is going to prove difficult to score off on this wicket.
Well, clearly the umpires have something to tell Basil Hamid. I think it's about the field changes, and that needs to be quick.
I'm not sure what this is about. Rashid Riaz is particularly stringent with his message that he's getting across, and as often the crowd play their part. I think he's just telling Basil Hamid to calm down, perhaps. Maybe is he going across him as he runs through? Not too sure what that's about, but it all adds to the drama, the rich tapestry of this great rivalry. Powell gets off the mark with a single, well judged.
It's interesting, that conversation between Basil and the umpire there. But all's well that ends well, and he's back to bowling, coming around the wicket for the right-handed Rohit Podel, and will continue to bowl from that angle for Asif Sheikh as well. 2 runs of this over so far, 1 more ball to go, but it has been a successful over for UAE. Brings out the sweep, Asif. They're looking for 2, but will settle for 1. 10 overs gone, halfway through the second innings, as Nepal have just lost a wicket. Basil Hamid giving away 3 in his first. 69 for 2.
Well, as we probably get out for the ad break in Kantapur, for all those watching around the world on ICC TV, we love hearing from you. Remember, you can use that hashtag T20 World Cup. Let us know where you're watching from. Are you enjoying the action? Which way is this contest going to go? And a special shout out for one here. You got to love this. This is from Sudan Lamachani, the same name as the more famous Sandeep. Sudan says, Lenny, it's 3:44 a.m. here. It's in New York City, and Nepal win will make it worth every moment. I cannot wait to watch Nepal live in the Big Apple next year. And remember, that's one of the 3 host venues should Nepal get over the line in this chase from America. There's then, I think, 6 or 7 host venues in the West Indies and the Caribbean, which use that hashtag T20 World Cup, or send us a tweet or a direct message. You can find us online. And my oh my, the next 10 overs is going to decide it all as to who will get there. UAE learning. They go back to spin. Here comes Keshwani. Slog sweep. It's the shorter side. It's 6. Perfectly played. Applause around the ground. Some are dancing. Some are roaring. Asif Sheikh is playing a gem of a knock.
Well, too quick yet again from Nilanj Keswani, and that's a brilliant shot from Asif. Down on one knee and swept it all the way onto the building. It's the shorter boundary, but you still have to clear them, and Asif does really well. Just after that delivery, after being hit for a 6, a very heated conversation between Nilanj Keswani and the captain Mohammad Wasim at covers, where Mohammad Wasim was seen to be begging Nilanj Keswani to bowl slow in the air, and that is what is very important. Flight the ball, don't bowl quick, and let the ball turn off the wicket.
I think the 2 of us are starting to sound like a broken record, aren't we? Go slower. It's that kind of a wicket. It's something I've spoken a lot to Sandeep Lamachani about here, about finding the pace to bowl on Nepali wickets. And that's why I've been so surprised through the group stages that Nepal have been going with 16 overs of seam. They've generally bowled pretty well, and they got through the group even though they lost to Oman. But they've such good spinners here. It's their strength. You play to your strengths.
Well, 7 runs in the first 2 deliveries of this Nilanj Keswani over. 76 on the board. A target of 135. So Nepal in a very comfortable position right now, but complacency cannot creep in now. There's a stoppage in the play as that LCD screen is still on, the advertisement is still going.
And Shoaib, but I do have to give the Cricket Association of Nepal a special shout out. They obviously had hoped that they would win the group and keep all of the advertising and commercial infrastructure at the TU ground. I really don't know how they have managed to shift every single piece of it in less than 24 hours. 12 to 16 hours. Our production team as well, led by Yopresh Pradhan. They've all shifted too. The additional cameras have come across here. Probably about 99% of the viewership today has been on this ground. So great credit to everyone to make it happen. And we're getting a game that's befitting of the spectacle as Nepal, they're inching ever closer, primarily thanks to Asif Sheikh. Short, wide, too flat, 4 more.
Well, not learning from his mistakes, quicker, flatter, and cuts well. Asif Sheikh, he's not going to miss out on those as Nepal are inching closer towards victory and towards making history. This is celebration time. The Nepal fans are going to love every moment of this, and every individual, every fan who's come out here is going to cherish and take this memory home for the rest of his life. This is going to be an epic moment, a special moment if Nepal get to that 135.
I said the viewership between the two semi-finals might be 95, 98% here. It's probably 100% now. Oman have won. Oman have got over the line, so anyone who was left watching that game against Bahrain at the TU, eyes will now turn to Mulpani. Many congratulations to Oman, taking one of the 2 qualification spots for Asia. Who's going to take the second? Nepal, they're in the box seat at the moment. It's 82 for 2. .53 runs required to win it, and an interesting change. Not going to be Basil Hamid to continue. He did get that second breakthrough. It's going to be Ayan Khan, maybe because of the 2 right-handers on strike. But will Basil Hamid change ends?
Well, I hope so. Again, flatter, quicker from Ayan, and nicely rocked on the back foot. Asif Sheikh, what an innings this has been from him.
Shoaib, it's clear that UAE have probably misread the conditions with the way they've bowled in comparison particularly to what we saw in the first innings from Nepal, who adjusted nicely as they went. It's a slightly better pace, but still a single, because it's Asif Khan. They recognise they can run one to him. Is it the occasion, the crowd, the spectacle, what's on the line that is affecting the UAE? Or is it just they're being outplayed right now?
Well, I would be lying if I would say that UAE is not hassled by the crowd that they've witnessed here today. Anybody who's out there in the middle will feel the heat. And UAE are no different. Also, UAE don't have enough exposure of playing in such conditions. Yes, they've played a lot of cricket in Nepal in the last year or so, but quite a few of them are young, and that inexperience has just been a bit visible. Talent, well, a lot of talent, but that big match exposure is something that UAE will take from this game.
They do have the experience though here, not at this ground with the massive crowd, but at the TU. Never seen 2 bigger crowds in associate cricket history than March 16th and May 1st and 2nd. Bigger than even today. Look at that. It's a sea of people, a sea of joy. It's going to turn into a sea of euphoria and dancing and moments the nation will never forget if they can get over the line over the course of the next 8 overs. Again, too short, too flat. Ayan Khan. He's been immaculate since he started in international cricket, but not his day today. And it's exactly a run of ball needed. 48 more to win. 87 for 2. with the change in bowling, it almost feels like Mohammad Wasim is just trying everything, anything that he can. So where Cam will come in from the Gokarna Forest end of the ground. Asif Sheikh is just a boundary away from what would be a wonderfully paced and judged T20I half century. Big swing and a miss. Sheikh feels as though he's missed out that time. Could still be a twist in this game, there's no doubt. We've seen batters who've come to the crease find it difficult to score.
Well, it's not all over for UAE. Like I said, it's going to take something really special for UAE to make a comeback in this game. Nepal are right now cruising at 40,000 feet above sea level and are scheduled to land in the US in June, but they'll need some turbulence on their way, and that can only come through wickets.
Big appeal, given not out. Umpire Ghazi Sohail from Bangladesh unmoved. You can even see Khan indicating there as he feels maybe it was just nipping down. I think it was given as leg by. He's not sure if that's an oversight as opposed to an indication there was some bat involved.
Yeah, could be. It's very difficult to say from here, but also I felt that the angle, the ball was just going down leg. So good call from the umpire.
Powell's just calmed any nerves that might have started to set in with that second wicket. It's clever cricket. He's not looking for boundaries, nor does he need to right now. Sheikh has the pace of the pitch. He can take the occasional risk, and Powell's just going to nudge it around for ones and twos where he needs.
That's the right ploy, isn't it? Need a runner ball? Let's get runner ball. Especially Asif Sheikh. Now his role will have to be well defined. He has to stay there till the end, Asif, and score those winning runs. He's the man who said, we've seen that the batters who come out to bat, it's not easy to start going from ball number one. So this could be the ideal time for UAE to get a wicket and maybe get a new batter out there in the middle.
Elegantly driven. Every run is now just getting ripples of applause. It's a combination of nervousness and excitement. It will explode into euphoria if Nepal can get there.
Well, I can't just imagine that moment if Nepal win this game. The loud roar, and it's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience, not only for the fans but also for us in the comm box. 45 needed of 44. Can UAE pull out a rabbit out of the hat?
The only thing about this approach, it's the right one. Nepal are doing the right thing right now. It may just drag things out to where if you have a really bad, let's say 16th or 17th over, a bit like Sandeep Lamachani provided that wicket maiden in the 18th, you're then left with maybe a nervy little 15 off 12 or 18 off 12, possibly with a new man at the crease. That's what the UAE have to keep thinking. Again, if you're just tuning in, maybe just waking up back in Europe in particular or down in Africa, you might think this is a simple chase that will be iced. The pitch has done a lot, particularly for the spinners, and there could well be a twist in the tail yet, even though it's just more than a run of ball that Nepal need with those 8 wickets in hand. Put away now. Is there going to be 2 here? Sheikh seems to want it, and he's going to get it, and it will be 50 for the man who is so underrated at the top of the order for this team. He acknowledges the crowd. He's another one of these young talents that come from Nepal. He's come from 39 deliveries. The 22-year-old makes his 4th T20I 50.
Well, this could be his most important 50 runs of his life, the runs that he will remember for a long, long time, because this could be the winning cause, and if that happens, Asif Sheikh will be etched in history forever. 6 balls and a 6 for Asif Sheikh. He's got 50 of 39, but he knows the job is not yet done. got lucky earlier on, got a few edges, but then he showed his class all throughout. Made sure that he got the ball right from the middle of the bat, played some innovative shots, placed them in the gaps as well, and was temperamental, to say the least.
And what you've seen in a big way here, Shoaib, is him targeting the shorter side incredibly well. Firstly with that pull shot, picked out the vacant gap at mid-wicket, and then the sweep shot off Keswani that went all the way for 6. And he rightly acknowledges that monstrous crowd. Ayan Khan's going to bowl his 4th. There's another long discussion between the youngster and his skipper, Mohammad Waseem. It's not just about fielders, I think it's about pace. And it's exactly a run of ball that's required. 42 to win off 7 overs. 42 deliveries remain. Can Ayan Khan provide the twist, as he often does for the UAE? Better pace, a bit of curve through the air, but nicely clipped away for a single.
It's just that 1 over for Basel. Still lingering on my mind. Why not give him another over? He got you a wicket, and he's off the bowling.
Single into the leg side. We wanted the time to get to many comments. We've got to give this one a shout out. He says it's 3:57 a.m. here in Washington, D.C. I've got a job interview at 8 a.m., but this game has me hooked. Hopefully the lads make this no sleep worth it and give me a chance to watch them live next year. Go, the Nepali Rhinos, go. Well, I promise you if they do get there, it will be worth it. And you'll have to let us know how that job interview goes. Best of luck.
Well, I'm sure he's going to go in a good mood. If Nepal qualify, and he'll crack that interview. As of now, everyone here at the MCG, Mulpani Cricket Ground, is waiting with bated breath, because this is history in the making, Andrew.
Yeah, there will be a twist, I promise you. They're known as the Cardiac Kids for a reason. I don't think they're just going to get it done simply in the 17th or 18th. Something's going to happen, and a couple of dots are just raising the tension, raising the pressure. Good change in the field. They've taken Asif Khan out of cover. They've got the slightly swifter Mohammad Waseem in.
Also, Ayan, a lot slower in this over compared to the previous over, so that is why it's a little more difficult for batters to score runs. Good over, 3 runs off it, 2 dot balls, 1 more ball to go. What's it going to be? Slower and will be a dot ball. So the required run rate still neck to neck as the Cardiac boys take the game into the next over as well. 14 overs gone, 96 for 2.
Six overs remain. 6 overs to dictate the fate of this T20 World Cup qualification spot. Who will book their tickets on that jet plane out to the USA and the West Indies next year? Let's take a look at a few of the best moments as the ground staff are just getting those lines repainted. So we have a slight break in play. A lot of Asif Sheikh strokes in this package. He's played so nicely, isn't he? It's been a measured innings. A classic example of why you need technique players and correct players in T20 cricket as well as power hitters. There's a time and a place for innings like these. It's been one of the highest quality.
Well, yes, he's been outstanding. Right from ball number 1, Asif Sheikh has come out with intent, the right approach. He's got the mental toughness and has looked the part all throughout this innings.
Well, I made the mistake, didn't I, of saying maybe you're just waking up in Europe, and Strochis said, just waking up in Europe, Lenny, I've been up since 5 a.m. here in the UK. Couldn't sleep with the cardiac kids playing. I understand. Just some people might have had a normal night's sleep in Europe. Some. Huge diaspora all across Europe, the United Kingdom, North America in particular, lots of Nepalis, also Australia. As Powell looks for a big shot, and he finds the gap. A little bit of risk taken by Powell. He doesn't want to take this to the penultimate or the last over. And the 100 comes up with a boundary from the skipper.
Nicely played there between the two fielders at mid-wicket, and long on. Gets it exactly where he wanted it to be, and that's gone for 4. Rohit Patel is looking good, and this is sensible, absolutely brilliant from the captain. He's leading from the front, first at 4 and now a single.
Well, there, just in those two balls, we're seeing the difference between the sides. He's taken a calculated risk to get a boundary down the ground, and then he's followed it with a single straight at the fielder. That same ball, the second ball in the first innings, would have been a dot. That's a huge difference. It's not just the runs that Nepal get from that show, but it's the runs that they denied in the first innings. And when you add up the 120 deliveries that both teams have, that could be crucial and end up being the differential.
Well, yes, it has been a phenomenal effort from Nepal so far. 102 on the board. Driven straight down the ground for a single. Well, they dropped a game yesterday, Nepal, against Oman. Lost a very close encounter where they almost tasted victory and then had to give away those 2 points. Couldn't cross the finish line, but that hasn't affected or dented the confidence of these Nepali batters. That is such a great thing to watch. How to make a comeback. How do you bounce back into the game after you've been given a knockout punch? That is what cricket is all about, and that is what Nepal cricket have done so well today. 104. As the captain looking for a single, will be sent back. Oh, now he's going to get it. And this is the fielding effort. This is the difference that we were discussing. UAE have been off colour, and Nepal will not mind that.
Again, this solitary ball sums it all up. He's pushing the fielder, so he's putting him under pressure. Sheikh sends him back rightly, and then rather than holding the ball, the throw is 4 or 5 yards wide of Aryant Sharma, so it allows the single anyway. And Nepal, well, they're starting to motor, and with 5 to go, they need exactly a run of ball. It's 30 to win. Off 30, 105 for 2. To win, and maybe a last roll of the dice from Mohammad Wasim. Basil Hamid is called back in from the same end he took the wicket from. I think Shoaib's probably going to tell me that he would have liked to see him stay on, but he'll come around the wicket to row with Powell. Powell has been nice and fluent, hasn't he, right from the moment he came to the crease.
Yeah, he's looked settled out there in the middle, Rohit Patel, and that is because of the start that Asif Sheikh and Patel gave Nepal, so that has allowed Rohit Patel to play his innings at his own pace. 16 of 14, this is an important knock from him, and has been the Robin to the Batman. Rohit Patel has played that supporting role well as they take another couple of runs and get closer to that target. Still a runner ball as Nepal reach 108. Basil Hamid has been brought back into the attack again with that mission of breaking this partnership.
It has to be now. It has to be this over for UAE. Ideally, it has to be Sheikh. They just work the ball so cleverly into the gaps. all of that experience, that exposure that Nepal have had this year. A first ever Asia Cup appearance. Games against India and Pakistan that captured the imagination of the wider cricketing world. And you'll hear it in the background there, the chants of Nepal, Nepal ring around this ground. The side, they've grown in confidence, they've matured despite their tender years under the tutelage of Monty Desai. And Powell, he says now it's time to party, now it's time to turn those dreams into reality. This game is only heading one direction, it's heading the way of the hosts. And Rohit Kumar Powell, the young captain of Nepal, he's leading his side home. Party time now in Kathmandu. The nerves are being replaced. And those chants of Nepal, Nepal, Nepal. Powell harnessed them. He goes 6, now he goes 4. A beautiful stroke into the offside. And all of a sudden, it might just be 14 more to win. How quick are they between the wickets? They're sprinting onto that plane. A decade of waiting. It's going to be over ever so soon for Nepal. 14 more required. 1-2, 1 for 2.
So 120 on the board, 15 more needed as Nepal are on their way to making history.
And the runs are coming swiftly, quickly. The finish line is coming into sight. Nepal are cantering home, and the UAE are going to be left to wonder what might have been. This trilogy of mammoth games this year, it's turned to a tetralogy. 4 of the very best, but this one, it's going to go to Nepal.
Well, nothing wrong that Nepal have done today. They've been exceptional all throughout this game, have been dominating and have been sensible in their approach. What a moment this is going to be for Nepal cricket. In touching distance now, 11 more needed. These 11 runs will be the most crucial runs. 10 now with that single. Rohit Patel on 27. Asif has played an instrumental role in this crunch game as Patel has gone high, he's gone handsome, and he's gone the distance as well. What a shot from the captain as he is making a mark in this game. That roar from the crowd says it all. Nepal need 4 more to get into the World Cup.
Well, it's not just start the car time, it's start the bus time. Start the party bus here in Kathmandu. Nepal are going to go back to a T20 World Cup. It's the first time in a decade. The atmosphere unlike anything I've ever witnessed. Not a single person in this ground is sitting down anymore. They're all on their feet. And maybe, just maybe, it could be the captain himself who can hit the winning runs. Any boundary will do. 4 more to win. And UAE crestfallen, beaten out of sight. Will Powell take the opportunity to finish it in style? Cut away. It's not going to be the moment yet. Maybe he'll say to young Asif Sheikh, it's your time to shine.
Well, yes, it could be in this over. This could be it. Nepal are on the verge of making it to the World Cup. Deserving between the two sides today. And just 1 shot away.
Asif Sheikh being Asif Sheikh, he says, no, captain, you do the job, you hit the winning runs.
And what a partnership this has been between the captain and Asif Sheikh, who's been phenomenal with the bat. Outstanding approach from these two. Here we go.
Not yet, not yet. They have been nothing short of sensational, Nepal. They really have. To get to the end of the 17th, 1-3-3 for 2.
It is absolutely crazy out there in the middle, and in the stands as well. As you can see, the fans have been with the team all throughout. The last few years have been tough, but the journey has been upward and onward for Nepal, and things look better as they are on the verge of getting into the World Cup.
Well, somewhat ironically, it's going to be Mohammad Wasim to bowl. The flares are starting to go off. They're jumping, they're dancing, they're jiving in the crowd. Mohammad Wasim it was that was hit for 20 by Gulshan Jah in that remarkable game on the 16th of March that captured the attention of the world. And surely it's going to be Mohammad Wasim, whether he's bowling off spin or seam, it doesn't matter. It's going to be hit for the runs that will send Nepal back to the T20 World Cup. Shakti Gauchan is here. Paras Khadka, the captain in 2014, is here too. And they're here to watch the new captain run home for 2 and take Nepal back to the world stage. It's been 10 years, 10 long years that these fans have waited to see Nepal in a World Cup. That wait is over. And in 9 months' time, these young men, they'll walk in the shadows of Paras Khadka, Gyanendra Malla, Pradeep Bairi, Shakti Gauchan, Jitendra Mukhiya, Sharad Masakar, and everyone who went to represent the nation of the Himalayas 10 years ago. But their time is now. The cardiac kids, they've got there. Not too many hearts stopping today, but barely a dry eye in the house, and not one there in that Nepal bench. Unbelievable.
Well, watch out. World Cup, Nepal is coming. It has been waiting game for the longest time for Nepal, but not now. It is time to celebrate. It is time to cherish and remember what it means for these young cricketers who have taken Nepal to the world stage. Well, doesn't matter who you are, you have to stand up and applaud the journey that Nepal has made, and they are well deserving and much deserving to go into the World Cup. Yes, it means a lot to these men. UAE gave it their all, but they fell short today, and it's going to be all about Nepal. This night is going to be remembered. This day is going to be remembered by Nepal cricket for years to come.
66 runs the two put on. Asif Sheikh will get the headlines with 63 off 50, but Rohit Paudal's calmness, his composure, his coolness, he's still in his early 20s. He's the captain of a nation that is not just obsessed with this sport, they adore this sport. And I'm not sure there's a single dry eye in the house to Bender Singh Airi. He's back. He didn't have to do much, did he? They didn't need him to do anything. But Nepal are there, they're back to the promised land, and